The refineries that were there how many years ago? Those 3 refineries we had 5 years ago, are they operational now? Do we have new refineries in Nigeria today? We have spent $35 billion and we're still where we were 5 years ago. So if somebody is protesting, you as the government has to make a stand and say, this is for the interest of Nigeria and future generation of Nigerians. If you had made those tough choices 5 years ago, then people will be thanking you for it today.
Now, Mr. Carey said something about the budget being a bit silent on the dollar.
On the exchange rate.
On the exchange rate.
Normally in the budget, we have a projected exchange rate number. This time around,
so why do you think this is so?
I can only hazard a guess. One of the reasons is what I had specified, which is that basically, I think if you do the arithmetic, from $53 benchmark to 38, and the reality is that it might actually not even be 38, it might be lower than that.
30.
So, you know, but so when you look at that, then the revenue component to government is going to go down.
Please hold your thought. Sure. We'll come back. Edward from Abuja. Hello, Edward.
Edward?
Yes?
Go ahead, make your contribution, please.
All right, thank you. I want to look at the political angle to the removal of fuel subsidy. I can remember vividly that in 2012, when President Goodluck Jonathan removed fuel subsidy, the whole of Nigeria blocked the streets. Can we please remember the faces of the people who led this campaign? They are the people in government today. So it should be totally, in fact, they have no moral justification to remove fuel subsidy. On the sentimental one, I understand all the points. Okonjo-Iweala, Goodluck Jonathan, World Bank, they brought out all these things and they placed it on the table. But for political reasons, the people in power today refused it blatantly. So on what ground do they want just Nigerians now that they're in government, to agree with them to remove fuel subsidy? When they were not in power, fuel subsidy removal was wrong. Now they are in power, it's right. Well, and another thing I'm going to look at is, let's look at Nigeria in its present situation. We have the protests in the southeast. We have Boko Haram that we're still fighting with. We have people saying that the president is dictatorial. And then, with what manner of flexibility does he intend to remove the fuel subsidy? So that we are looking at plunging Nigeria into further anarchy. I know economists and civil society might not see it from that perspective, but from the political angle, you are just asking for trouble. Okay. That's my opinion about it.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you, Edward.
I mean, I think that's the more reason why I said the conversation needed to be broadened up. Civil society organization, the labor unions, every citizen need to be a part of that conversation, because at the end of the day, the reality is that, you know, we do not have the resources to subsidize PMS. We have removed subsidy on diesel, and look at how it behaves. I know that anybody who has purchased diesel in the last few days or so, you probably purchased it at under 100, you know, and there was a time when it was going for
about 105.
There was some going for 140. There was a time when it was selling for 150, 140. It is going down.
Market.
Why is it going down? Because it's a component that's attached to the crude. Now, PMS ought to be around that range or lower, because it is the product that comes out in the largest quantity when you process crude. PMS is the largest before the others. Now, what we are saying is that the investments that government can do with the savings can be directed in such a manner that it touches the lives of the poor and the vulnerable. Today, there is an opacity with fuel subsidy. There is gaming of it. Human beings tend to game when there is an incentive to make money. And therefore, the total subsidy amount doesn't go to the producer And it's actually it's not even a production subsidy, it's a consumption subsidy, which means that we are actually subsidizing the people that are bringing it in. They're not even the
Should the
producers.
subsidy, like one of the callers said, should it be directed at production? And I have someone tweeting here already. Let it be directed at production in
It should
refining in
be.
Nigeria.
When you-
It
that's
should
what I'm
be.
trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't have refineries. None of the refineries in Nigeria are working.
Functional.
How can we be a top 10 oil producer globally and we cannot refine petroleum products? Singapore is the size of Lagos. Singapore has more refining capacity than the whole of Nigeria. They don't produce one drop of oil.
Okay, we have.
So no, what I'm just trying
Tiwa,
the
please.
point I'm trying to make.
Please
before
hold
we
your
need
thoughts.
to
Hold
go.
your thoughts before we lose students. We have Halilu from Yola.
Yes.
From Yola before we lose Halilu. Hello, Halilu. Halilu, are you there?
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're hearing the
Okay.
children. We'll come there very
Halilu
soon.
will be back.
Halilu's daughter.
Alinu's daughter is there. So what I'm just trying to say is that, you see, we need to be realistic in this country. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Okay? I don't want to take this thing from a political angle.
Correct.
I want to take it from an angle of reality and what it means to us as Nigerians. There was a time we had 3 functioning refineries in this country. We never had any problem of fuel. We even had 5-star. You go to a point, you had a pump that was selling a premium
product.
premium 5-star. That's what they call that fuel. It was even higher than it was there before. We had various grades. So what I'm saying is that if we look at this thing dispassionately and say to ourselves, $35 billion, like you have said, we protested 5 years ago. We have spent $35 billion since that time. Up to today, no refinery. We cannot run our households that way. Why do we want to run this country that way? And look at what we're saying now. If we're going to do this budget, the reality on this budget is that the oil price budget must be $30. It cannot be $38.
So you don't agree with the senators who are debating? Some say it should be 40.
What? Look, you see, senators, the House, their own job is to top up budgets. Since in the history of the National Assembly, they have never reduced any budget. Even this last budget, they will top it up. Okay? That is what they will do. They will always top up a budget. Reality is $30 oil. Take a look at the oil futures. Go into NYMEX, look at the Platts prices for the oil futures. If you want to be conservative, that means $30. You know what that means? $30 oil price. Okay, so Goldman Sachs is even telling you that it's going to go further down. And the Arabs are not letting off on production. Iran is coming back
OPEC
onto the
discussion,
market.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is that I'm not trying to create, you see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to create a doomsday scenario. All I'm saying is that if we face the reality now, then we can deal, so that 5 years later, when we come back here, I don't want us to say we spent another $40 billion.
Hello, Paul. Paul? Okay, Paul, we'll get from Paul.
Okay, just before we leave this subsidy issue, because
I wanted
Ikponwosa,
us to leave this.
yes, we are leaving it.
I've not looked at mine.
Yes, Ikponwosa raised a question here, or a comment. He said, we run the risk of losing our global competitiveness if subsidy is removed wholesale.
Sounds like some NS21, doesn't it?
Are we considering that?
I think maybe the chairman of the Economic Summit Group should tell us.
Global competitiveness come in there are indices, right?